Hi, this is Maggie Fuller. I'm really excited to share this shooting video with you. This is all about an adventure I took with my 3 kids to this place called Beer Can Island. It's about an hour and a half south from where we live in Tampa. I heard about it, seen pictures from there, and I decided to take them and bring my shooting equipment and do a whole video for you guys. Now I know not everybody lives near a beach, but as we see the location as this video goes on, I think you could equate it to a cool creek or a lake that has lots of things for kids to climb on or explore, so it doesn't have to be the beach. So on this day, the sun was gonna set like 7:40 and we arrived at 5:30, which may have been a little early because the sun was still super high and it was really bright, but we just had to go for it. Since this was my first time here, I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew we would find driftwood and mangroves, but upon arrival we found this pier. As you can see, the kids ran towards the end of that pier, and so I took 3 different kinds of shots. The key in all of these is that I tried to make sure that their bodies were not touching in the images, so you could see the outline of each individual body. I knew that if I could be on the ground and they could be on the pier, I could get a really cool perspective of me much lower than them, which is not really an option in most situations. So the girls ran back and forth and I stood down there and just took a bunch of pictures while they were doing their dances across the pier. I scooted in, I scooted out, and I was trying to get the beautiful blue sky. Because of how bright it was, I was making sure I was exposing for the highlights so that I wasn't blowing their skin where the sun was shining. I love this one because you can see all 4 of her limbs and her feet were off the ground, and this one too, although because she's faced the other way, the sun isn't on her face. This is a joyful one with just both of them in the air at the same time, and then this one I love, but her right arm is missing. I give it to my kids to go in the pier, so I was trying to see how I could shoot that. And what I had to do was, I couldn't shoot inside of it because they were really dark and the background was blown out because the sun was so bright. So the pictures that I found that worked were when they were partially out, when their faces were out a tiny bit and the sun could still provide some light upon their face or their body parts. I loved shooting through the hole, and since her face wasn't quite yet in, it was still lit up. And just as she was coming out, and then I also shot to where the pier was blocking some of the sun. Are you ready for Violet's dance show? She put on this little show within this piece of driftwood as we moved along on our adventure. We left the pier and we saw this driftwood, and so she did these little dances. I sped up the video so I could include it all, and she just moved from place to place, and I just followed her around and took a variety of images. The best 2 tips I think I can give you is to just keep moving around and trying different angles, and then also to step back. I think sometimes we're afraid to move back and miss something, but really you can capture a lot more from stepping back. So we continue on our adventure, and now we walk through some mangroves just off the edge of the water. And you can see the light is not ideal. It's not beautiful golden backlight. It's a lot of dappled light along with all the tree branches. So I just got low and tried to shoot them within all those tiny little stumps, and my son was pretending to run through them like a crazy man and jump them. So you'll see me get low and try to shoot his feet and all his jumping that he was doing. here are a few more videos of me shooting him while he's running through all these stumps, and I take images from both perspectives, from the sand towards the water, and then I switch from the water towards the sand, and I try to do close-ups of his feet, further away. I love that big stump there that he's jumping over. So I'm getting really, really low to try to use the stump as a leading line here. I found that images facing towards the water did really well in black and white, whereas the ones facing towards the shore were much better in color. These could not be in black and white because all of the trees in the back, he gets completely lost once I edit those. Our final destination. This is the end of the beer can island, and we came upon it, and there's more driftwood, and the twins went immediately to go to that swing rope, even though I knew they wouldn't do it because it was freezing water. It's March, not quite warm enough, so I followed them. Tempted to use some of the branches to block some of the bright sun on the left there. And then this, I loved the water crashing and him looking down like, what am I gonna do? As you can see, I just sort of follow my son out here. He's gonna climb on this branch and walk it, so I'm out there to take some pictures. The trick with this was, out in the water was where that rope was. So I was trying not to make that part of the background, so his whole head and face and top of his body were in the sky or the water rather than the tree behind him. You can see between the two different trees behind him, there's only a limited amount of space where I could shoot him. Here we go, another dance from Violet. This time she spent a ton of time just hanging on this one branch. Swinging, hanging, swinging, hanging. I sped this video up as well. So while she just played, I just shot from every angle towards the water, from the front of her, from the back of her, her hair, her details. I shot her feet swinging. The water started coming up towards her feet. I just spent a lot of time with her on this, shooting any type of perspective I could get. Here they are. I find that they're so full of color and just full of her, doing what she likes to do. All the different angles for hair, and I got her profile with the sun shining on it, and the feet ones, maybe my favorite. If you look at the hashtag Beer Can Island, this tree that she's climbing in is probably the most photographed. So I had a little anxiety over how in the world was I going to shoot it. Seeing it wasn't even golden hour, or kind of getting close, but so bright. Clear sky, no clouds. So, you know, she went to climb in it and I had to just follow, and I took pictures of her feet climbing. And I also found that, you know, she had to be looking out towards the water so that the sun would light up her face. Otherwise, she'd be looking towards the shore, her face was all dark. So I got this foot picture of the textures, and then this, just kind of the whole scene. And now I stepped back. So this other tree was in front of this tree, and I really wanted to shoot through it. So I stood back there and found different holes through it that I could use, and kind of waited for her to just be in a good position where the light was good on her body. There's that one, and her face was shining, and then I got a little closer and use that pole to block some of the sun. Okay, I really wanted to share these next two clips with you because this is what my son loves doing right now. He'll take a stick and then a hat or the shovel or anything and then try to fling it or put it up high. And he did this on our spring break vacation the week before, and then he was doing it here. And so I kept trying to take pictures of him doing this. It was very challenging to get his stick and the shovel to where you could see them and they weren't covered by other branches, but I feel like I got a couple. So now my son gets up in the tree, and of course I'm thinking, how am I gonna make his images different than my daughter's in this famous tree? But he's a different kid, he does something different, I'm not directing him, so he does something that only he would do, and I was there waiting to capture it. I also shot through some branches for this one while he sat there, and this I missed focus, but I kind of loved the silhouette of him. Okay, we are done at the end of the island and the sun is getting lower, and I decided it's time to make the trek back to the car. We still have to go out to eat and drive all the way home. So I'm not waiting till sunset, but that's okay. My daughter now has this stick, so I'm capturing her walking with this stick she wants to take home, use that dapple light, and then I loved the golden light coming through those branches there. And I wanted to show some of the images I took on our walk back. You can tell the sun is lower, especially here by the pier. This is the same pier 2 hours later. That's how long we were having fun and playing. Thank you so much, and I hope you're inspired to go play with your kids doing something you all enjoy.